Tyler is in Oklahoma City. Hey, Tyler, welcome to the EntreLeadership Podcast. What's up?
Oh, not a lot. Thanks for taking my call, Dave. I've been listening since 2020. Big fan, but I am a 21-year-old owner of a business that is going to do a little over $3 million in revenue this year.
Way to go, dude.
Well, thank you. And I am wondering, we have a young corporate team. We're very inexperienced in the industry, but we've made it this far, obviously. And I'm wanting to know how to take that inexperience and the being so young and turn that into a great team that can break through that average ceiling.
Wow. Well, you already broke through the average ceiling. I mean, you're 21 years old and got a $3 million business. That's way above average. So congrats, stud. Proud of you. What kind of business is this?
It's a smoothie bowl and smoothie shop. We kind of, I was fortunate enough to travel growing up, and I tried some smoothie bowls from places like Hawaii and Florida and California, and just kind of took that and brought the culture of the islands back to Oklahoma, where there's obviously not an ocean anywhere in sight.
How many stores have you got to do $3 million worth of smoothie bowl?
We just opened up our sixth one in March. We started in 2018. Gracious. Yeah, we started in the back of a boutique, kind of like how you started on a card table. And I was a senior in high school. Man. And my dad, I told my dad I didn't want to go to college, and we talked through some options, and we bought a name and a freezer and a fridge and a blender and just kind of made it work.
What a country, America. Oh, right? My gosh. 21 years old and $3 million worth of smoothie bowl. I'm so impressed. Wow.
Thank you, sir.
Very cool. Very cool. And a great question you've got. Okay, so you're running 6 stores. You've got managers. What's the size of your corporate staff?
So we recently just downsized to me as the CEO, and then we have a VPO and a controller, and then my dad is our CFO. He owns an accounting firm in the same town I live in, so he kind of oversees our finances. But just 4 people total.
You have 6 store managers?
We do have. Well, one of them is a franchise store, so they're responsible for that. So we have 5 corporate stores and 4 store managers. One of them doubles up on 2 stores.
So you're already franchising this?
Yes, sir. We have 1 franchise, and honestly, we're in the process of getting more. And I was going to ask you a little bit more on that too later.
Okay. My goodness gracious. All right. Well, I think you're on the right track. Obviously, you're pretty incredible, and I'm so proud of you. Very well done. The thing is this, you can never read enough or learn enough when you're in a growth curve like this. And so everything that Jim Collins writes, everything that Simon Sinek writes, everything that Malcolm Gladwell writes, and everything John Maxwell writes, everything Henry Cloud writes, you find people like that are writing some of the best business leadership. Craig Groeschel, start listening to his leadership podcast. Everything like that you can get a hold of and start learning anything about leadership, any of the nuanced areas of leadership and of growth, and just make the team leadership junkies. And you become a leadership junkie. When I was your age, when I was at your stage of business, I was older than you in this business by the time I got there. But John Maxwell back then had a tape of the month. They used to have these things, Tyler, called cassette tapes, and he would put out this cassette tape, Maximum Impact, and I would get it on leadership, and that got me reading every book John's ever written. John's become a friend. Oh, Pat Lencioni, don't miss him. Everything Pat writes, you ought to read. And so I've read every book that every one of those guys I just mentioned have written. And in the process, all of them have also become friends, in my case, because we all are in the same leadership space, speaking and teaching some of the best leadership teachers in the world I just named. And I'm on that list because they're actual people that are doing some of the best work. And so just read, learn. And then the thing that you're going to experience is the discomfort of people that won't do that, and you and the rest of the team and the business outgrow them, and you love them, they're lovable, but they ain't keeping up. And the train leaves without them one day because they wouldn't even reach up and grab a hold of the thing as we're leaving the station, and so they end up moving on. And so just be kind and loving, and they're friends, but they can't work there anymore because they won't keep up. Because you're gonna have to grow. John Maxwell talks about this. He says you're the lid on your business. You may have heard me teach that. And I'm the lid on my business. And the more I learn, the more I grow, the better. If I don't, then the organization can't grow. And so you've got to do that. But so has your key VPO and your your different people. So you're going to have to become an expert on franchising, which I'm not. I have stayed away from that. It's a strenuous business, but I don't doubt you can do it. So have at it, brother. You guys are pretty incredible. But it's one. My experience with franchising is it's not as wonderful as it looks from the outside. Because the tension you're going to run into as you grow a franchise network, shifting gears here, is the franchisee needs the information and the process and the systems and the branding of the franchisor to get started. Then once the franchisee is successful, they tend to think they made it successful, and you tend to think all the stuff you gave them made it successful. And when they fail, the franchisees that fail, they tend to think that you didn't help them enough is why they failed, and you tend to think they failed because they screwed up. And the truth is somewhere in the middle on all of this. But there becomes this tension that they forget why we got married. They forget why they loved you at the start. Once they start being successful and they start to strut around and act like they did it by themselves, and they didn't do it by themselves, and then they don't want to pay the royalties, or they want to open up something in competition with you in violation of about 63 things in the agreement, and you end up in lawsuits. And so there's all kinds of issues like that you're going to run into. So you've got to manage that relationship and warn the franchisee that, listen, it will not be successful without you, and it will not be successful without me. You will not lose. You will not fail if I have anything to do with it, but you can certainly cause it to fail by not working, by not treating the customer right, by not treating your team right. You can run a business poorly, and I can't keep you from screwing it up. And so you get to have these discussions with franchisees as you move forward, and it's a whole nother group of relationships to manage in a whole nother strenuous way, in addition to the other stuff you get to do running the business. So that's why some organizations have chosen to just stay with company stores instead of going the franchise route. You may or may not decide to do that. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just saying it's not all Skittles and rainbows. There's stuff there that's real that you've got to get through. So I sure hope it works for you, because you're an absolutely incredible young man. I'm so proud of you. Very, very, very well done. That is good stuff. I love it. This is the EntreLeadership Podcast.